up a good point, because I immediately wanted to rush over here and see, okay, what is their actual schedule out there? Because obviously with this happening at a high school, again, we don't know if these are student teachers or people that just happen to be near or on campus at that time. But school doesn't end at Foss High School until 2:45. And usually a lot of this information comes into us, let's say 30, 45 minutes delayed, just because an event happens. The first thing people don't think of is picking up the phone and sending out a tweet or notifying social media, etc., the media. So we're still working to find out when the stabbings actually took place, but we know based on this that clearly this happened while school was in session, because we haven't even wrapped the day. So that means that we're going to have to try to figure out what happens with students as far as, are they being shuttled off? Did they have to close down the campus? Or do they release bus schedules at the normal time? Will kids come home at the normal time? And if you're a parent, you might be frantically calling kids. You know, I would have to do some digging to find out what the situation is with schools and cell phones, because everyone has kind of their own schedule with that. But again, we'll share with you the map so you have a good idea of where this took place. Ellen, one of the things that always strikes me with these is just, you have 5 people stabbed, you have 4 conditions, and I think everybody's just kind of on the edge of their seats at this point in time, because that one person, why don't we know their condition? Does that mean that there's minimal injuries, or does that mean that we have the worst of the worst? And it truly, we won't know until we hear from Dan, and even then, it's really just going to depend on whether or not Tacoma Police want to release that information. So we're kind of just all in this together right now, waiting and hoping for the best case scenario for that 5th person, because when you hear serious condition, there's relief. It means they're not critical condition, but you don't know about that one person, whether they're just keeping their name out of it because they're the suspect that's in custody, or it's a more severe injury. We just don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I know in my time in grade school, I've been a part of 1 or 2 lockdowns, so I don't think this is something where the kids are going to be heading home anytime soon. I don't know. I've been looking on Tacoma Public Schools website as well, trying to get any information if they're sending alerts through the website. I've not seen anything. I'm not like enrolled in their alert system program, myself, so I did not get this alert if they did send one. But we're still trying to figure out if there was an alert sent out. I assume there was. But yeah, we're still just kind of waiting to see what this let out process is potentially going to look like. Obviously, Tacoma Police say that there is a suspect in custody. So theoretically, school maybe. But if there's still a crime scene, like there's no way that we can have kids, being released in the middle of a crime scene. So yeah, we're just kind of waiting to see. Dan is on the way. We sent him, about 15 minutes ago. He was about 20 minutes away, so we're maybe 5-minute warning to see if we can get any information from Dan. But yeah, right, Dan is just arriving, so if he doesn't have much more information than we do, understand why, right? He hasn't even kind of gotten there and done his due diligence and talked to any of the PIOs or anyone on scene or any of the students or faculty or anything like that. So we're going to be checking in with Dan a lot, and Jennifer Dowling as well when she gets down there.
Okay, and I'm going to interrupt you right there, because I just got these new details coming in from Fox 13's Dan Griffin. These are coming in our inner office channel, so he just bumped us, Alan and I, to let us know some details. I'm going to rattle these off for you guys. I apologize if we're a little jumbled, because I think this is all just happening in real time. And again, I like to remind folks, we're here with you throughout the day for this exact purpose. When breaking news happens, no scripts, no middleman. We're just jumping in and bringing all the information we can confirm as soon as possible. So Dan tells us all this information is coming from the Tacoma Police Department, and it is confirmed. This was a stabbing at Foss High School. We'll pull that map back up for you. Tacoma police say a suspect is detained. The scene is secure. That was the big news that we had a short time ago. Unclear at this point whether the suspect is a student. They're working with Tacoma public school officials. Tacoma police got a call of a possible stabbing at Foss School stemming from a fight. So it sounds like there was a fight inside the school there that led to all this just terrible situation. Continuing here, officers arrived and found 4 students hurt and a security guard hurt. So there's your answers, Alan. We were wondering, were these students, were these teachers? We now know 4 students injured and a security guard injured. They're working to determine if all of them were stabbed or hurt by other means, meaning falling, etc. So while we hear 5 people stabbed, I guess we're going to revise this to say 5 people injured, potentially stabbed at Foss High School. So I do know we have that graphic up there on the screen so you guys can see this. We'll work on getting that changed out. Again, this is why I say all of this information is preliminary and it is bound to change in real time. So 5 people hurt, and there was a stabbing that stemmed from a fight where 4 students and 1 security guard ended up injured. Do not know the extent of the victim's injuries, but believed to be non-life-threatening. So we originally said serious injuries. Now you have a little bit more information as to why they were saying serious, because serious enough that they need medical attention, not so serious that we're saying critical condition. But note that language there where they say they believe non-life-threatening. We're told that all of the people, that's 4 students and the security guard, were taken to a local hospital. Officers are there working to get updates. So that means we're going to be getting more information from the people that were actually involved in all of this, and we might get some information of how this all started. But again, they say it started with a fight inside of Foss High School. Continuing here. They do not know what was used to stab the victims or where it happened in the school. The school has been on lockdown. Police are currently on scene evacuating students and reuniting them with parents in the student parking lot area. So if you're a parent out there, I'm guessing that you got a push alert, an email, or some kind of reverse phone call from Foss High School or Tacoma Public Schools as they were pushing out this information, because as we noted earlier, school doesn't wrap till 2:45, but now we know all of this stems from a fight inside of that school. This has got to be a tough day, and this is why we kind of appreciate having this mode of communication with you all, because we can just be real with you and say that as parents, we understand. If you're watching us now and trying to get information, a lot of this is heartbreaking, it is difficult, and you're hopefully going to be getting a little relief soon and be reunited with your loved ones. Alan, it's a big information dump. I just want to know, am I good to check in with you? Because I know you're probably going to be navigating and bringing Dan in a second here. Are you good to talk for a second?
Yeah, so Dan just arrived on the scene. We got cameras up right now. He's going to be doing some digging right now and kind of gathering as much information as he possibly can. And then he's going to be potentially trying to hop on camera and talk to us. So you can take a look if you want to pop up 33. We just got to this scene. And you can see some students are outside of the campus right now, kind of checking out what is happening at Foss High School. We know 5 people were injured in a stabbing. Just getting all that information confirmed from Dan Griffin. But yeah, so that's going on right now. Dan just arrived, just popped up. He is gathering video to make sure we have this for our newscast, just in case maybe we get shooed off campus. But Dan is planning on talking with us as soon as he gathers a little bit more information.
And I just want to point out to viewers that you are seeing exactly what we are seeing. That's why we have this format, because when big news breaks, oftentimes news crews aren't on. They're playing reruns, and we just want to be here so we can get you information about what's taking place. You'll note that we've changed the graphics on your screen to say multiple people injured following a stabbing, because the way police are currently wording this, we do not know yet whether or not everyone was stabbed. Again, if you were with us just moments ago, you know that Fox 13's Dan Griffin was confirming information from Tacoma Police as he was working his way there. And this is raw video coming into our newsroom. This is how we see things as they unfold for those of us that are working behind the scenes inside of our building. So Fox 13's Dan Griffin, you may have caught him walking just moments ago while Alan was talking. He's been going around and trying to talk to all the movers and shakers out there and get information about what is unfolding there. And I have a little bit of sound coming in, but I'm going to guess that this is just going to be some background noise, but we'll turn on the mics for just a second. So you can hear there is actually a siren or a notice going out over campus where you hear that almost robotic voice shouting, "This is a lockdown," and you can see as those students are leaving. Again, for those of you just joining us, if you're worried, if you have family or friends out there, the latest information is that the suspect is in custody. We do know that 5 people were injured. We do not know how many of them were stabbed. Preliminary information said 5 stabbed. Now, Tacoma police say multiple people injured. We do not know how many are stabbed because We don't know if they were stabbed or if there was some kind of other injuries. You got to imagine there was some kind of a panic in there because this all stemmed from a fight inside of Foss High School there in Tacoma. Let's listen in live and you'll hear that voice. So students working their way out. You can only imagine. Alan, you and I have lived through this. We're elder millennials, and I hate to say it, but we grew up in a time where we were afraid of what could happen inside of schools. We lived through these situations where people were being injured in school shootings, but this next generation that's going to school right now, boy, I mean, they're living through a completely different world right now. I mean, we're talking about, how often do we talk about these things? But then when you hear the word stabbing, and we don't know if this was a knife, we don't know if they just grabbed something and used whatever they could to hurt people in the middle of a fight, but obviously kids are dealing with like a completely different world than what even we did, and even when we were kids, man, people were saying this is too much. Kids shouldn't have to deal with this. For lack of better terms, my heart is breaking, and I'm trying not to get emotional as I talk about parents reuniting with kids here, because this is the thing you fear the most as a parent, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, when you hear the information, 4 students hurt and a security guard hurt, it kind of paints a pretty crazy picture of what potentially could have happened at this school. It's great news to hear that the suspect is in custody, and this immediate threat to these students that are being released in the next 10 minutes to go home, to hang out with their parents and be with their family. It's just, there's so much unknown, and it's just a crazy scene. Like, it's never an easy feeling to hear that, your school's going on lockdown. Like, I remember plenty of lockdowns when I was in grade school, and it was never fun. I remember very scary moments of lockdowns, of stabbings and shootings across the streets from my high schools and elementary schools growing up. And I just empathize with all these students that are there, with all the teachers and the administration, but also all the parents that are just waiting in line probably to just pick up their kids. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just such a crazy scene. Like, this is not what you want at a high school.
And the latest information that we have is that police are there. You see them on your screen right now, and what they're going to be doing is working to reunite the kids that are being evacuated with parents in that student parking lot area. That is according to Tacoma Police. We are still awaiting new information, and as we get more details coming in from Tacoma Public Schools, we'll of course push that out to you as well. I mentioned that Fox 13's Dan Griffin is on the ground. I've been listening. If you hear the hustle and bustle behind me, I just remind our viewers, I'm smack dab in the middle of the newsroom, so a lot of the back and forth, the doors closing here, those are our evening crews rushing out the door, making their way down to Tacoma. So we'll be on top of this all day. But what you're looking at live here, this is the front of Foss High School down there in Tacoma. If you're not familiar with this area, but you're a sports fan, this is near Cheney Stadium. So all these kids are coming out right now, and the push is to get them reunited with parents, and that should give you a good idea, an indication of how serious this is, because this means that they're wrapping up school early for the day. Now, while we're getting those live images on your screen, I see Fox 13's Dan Griffin is getting ready in front of the mic, so I can assume that we'll be chatting with him in a little bit. Fox 13's Alan Pavlik will be behind the scenes and give me some details of when he is available. However, we look at this map. It gives you a good idea of where we're located. I want to give you some quick details that we know right now. It sounds like this all began as some type of a fight, and then you have this fallout inside of the school, and we're waiting to find out whether or not those individuals were all stabbed. You'll notice that we changed our graphic to say 5 people hurt after stabbing, suspect arrested. And one of the reasons we're telling you that is because Tacoma Police have clarified that we don't know how many people were actually stabbed in this situation, because they say that there could be additional injuries because people were scattering, running into different directions. We're going to stay on top of this. All right, Fox 13's Dan Griffin appears to be ready. Alan, behind the scenes, a little housekeeping. If you can move him over into the other channel so he can hear me clearly and that he doesn't get any extra feedback, we're going to go out live to Fox 13's Dan Griffin right now. Dan, this is just such a heartbreaking situation. I panic as a parent when I hear this. I know that there's going to be parents that are watching right now. You hear a stabbing, you hear a high school. Hopefully you've got some information that can ease some minds, but what are you hearing right now?
Well, the first bit of information, Matt, that I think parents will want to know is that a suspect is detained. They have a suspect, and they say it's the only suspect. So if you are a concerned parent out there wondering what's going on, we do know that. You know, we talked with Tacoma police about this. They say the scene is secure, but in the background you hear this eerie recording that's going over and over here at Foss High School, and they're saying this is a lockdown. You see parents standing off to the side, and actually, you know, I'm going to get out of the way so you can take a look at what we're seeing here, but parents standing off to the side with their kids, you know, students who are out here in the parking lot, and then in the backdrop, you see yellow crime tape, you see police lights flashing, and you hear this is a lockdown. They are working to evacuate students here at the school after what apparently was a stabbing incident that they were called to here. Unclear at this point if the suspect is a student. They are working with Tacoma Public Schools to try to get all of the information here gathered and to make sure parents and students are fully informed. But they got a call of the stabbing here at Foss High School, apparently stemming from a fight. Officers arrived. They found 4 students hurt, a security guard hurt as well, and they tell me they're working to determine if all of them were stabbed or if perhaps they were hurt in some other way, maybe by falling or something along those lines. That's just not clear right now. So they tell us that everyone who has been hurt, of those 5 victims, were taken to the hospital, and they are working to get information about how they're doing and their injuries, but they're all believed to have non-life-threatening injuries, so they are expected to survive, but certainly a scary situation. You know, kids come to school to learn. They do not come to school to experience something like this. So, you know, we've been asking a number of questions here of Tacoma police. Do they know what was used in the stabbing incident? They do not know. I asked them, do you know where this occurred? Where did this stabbing, where did this incident occur? They do not have that information for us just yet, but we're told that the school has been on lockdown. Police have been here on the scene evaluating and evacuating students and reuniting them with their parents, and you can see students continuing to come out here now after a day that, you know, this is just not what students expect to experience when they come to school. I'm going to ask these people really quick if they'd like to talk to us, because this mom has been standing here adamantly, and I want to see, excuse me.
Dan, take your time. Wave me down if you need us. And so Dan Griffin, walking, trying to talk with some folks. We'll be checking back in with him in real time. Dan, I know you're still listening, so if and when you want me to open back up the mics, just give me a thumbs up. And to our viewers, this is all unfolding in real time, and Dan's going to be trying to gather and make sure that everybody has a better understanding of how this is unfolding. While he chats with those people, I've got his microphone muted, so we are not breaching any confidence here, but he's going to try to have a conversation with these individuals that are out there right now after multiple people were stabbed. We'll pull up the graphic for you so you have a better understanding of how this all works out. And I see Dan is walking towards the camera. Dan, if you want to give us a thumbs up, are you okay with me unmuting you?
I think we're okay to unmute.
Right.
Do you mind to come up here with me? All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to have you, can you give me your name first?
Oh, my name is Annalisa.
Annalisa, and then what's your name?
I'm Ani.
Okay. What I'd like to do is start with, you said you kind of know what happened. Can you walk me through what you heard, what you saw?
So basically, this one guy, he took somebody's vape pen, and they didn't like that, so they were going to jump him, or they did, I think, and he had a knife, and he shanked 4 kids and 1 adult.
Did you see it?
Oh, no.
But you heard about it?
Yeah.
And what did you think? I mean, this is kind of crazy.
It's ghetto. Why are we stealing from people, and especially carrying a weapon to school and killing people is crazy. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I don't know.
How are other students reacting?
I mean, I don't really know. They look pretty fine to me, but I feel like it's traumatizing because it's your first year, and like it's almost end of the school year, and people are killing people, violence. So.
Yeah. Well, I want to ask you too, because you had some insights here. Tell me what you saw or what you heard.
Okay, in class, we hear, this is a lockdown, okay? And then everybody's like, what is going on? And then all of a sudden, I see the video airdropped to my friend's phone, and we seen the whole video happen of the whole fight and stuff, and it was just crazy. It was so bad. There was blood everywhere. And then I heard that basically the person who had the knife was, I don't even know. They said it was some older kid that was already had been to jail and stuff, so they came in with a knife. And then, yeah, and then they only fought because over a puff bar. That was so crazy. We're fighting over puffs.
Students?
I don't know who the students are.
But they're all students, everybody
they're all
involved?
students, yes.
So what are you feeling? I mean, obviously we keep hearing this is a lockdown. You were here to have a regular day at school.
Exactly, a regular day at school, and to be honest, I feel like this school is not safe.
At all.
At all. Not safe at all.
I'm scared for my life now.
Because we could have been in that situation.
Exactly.
We could have been there. We could have gone.
And it was near her 6th period too, so if we went into 6th period.
By my 6th period.
And what grade are you both in?
9th. First year of high school.
Exactly, and it's already happening.
It's already happening.
Wow. You know, I think back to 9th grade when I was in 9th grade, and I can't imagine something like this happening. And then I assume you'll have to come right back and get right back to classes and try to finish out the year. I mean, how do you do that?
I feel like if you really think it's funny, you'll be okay with it. But I feel really bad for them because it's their kids, their parents are worried. Somebody got shanked multiple times in the chest. I hope he's all right. And then other people got chased.
And you say there's video of this?
Yes, there's video footage of this happening. It was so crazy. I can't believe I saw that video. And then Uncle, the best security guard out there, shout out to Uncle. He got stabbed and he got cut on the wrist. I feel so bad.
Wow, so a security guard, he must have stepped in, I guess?
Yes,
or is
he
that...
stepped in to try to help. And he was trying to stop the fight, and then
What do you think this says about the importance of having an adult in there, a security guard or somebody in there to try to be there for you all?
I mean, I feel really grateful because if he wasn't there, it probably would have even escalated even more.
Yeah,
there could have been several more injuries than what already happened. It was so sad.
Okay. Well, thank you both for talking to me. I'm glad you're okay. What I was going to do is, and you wouldn't like to talk with us, you said no. Okay. What I'd like to do is in just a second maybe I want to make sure I get your names correctly spelled and everything, so I'm going to touch base with you in just a second if that's okay.
Okay.
Matt, do you mind if I continue working this scene for just a second? And then I will connect with you here in just a moment.
Dan, that is perfect. We're going to mute you, step away, get what you need to do to collect, because I do want our viewers to obviously get the most information. We're off of you. We'll show a map to our viewers at home. And Dan, flag somebody in our news team when you're ready to jump back in with us. So Alan and I will continue the conversation here inside the newsroom, but I just want to walk you guys through what we just heard there, because you have 2 young students talking about a security guard, somebody that they know. They referred to him as Uncle, being among those injured. And I do want to just stress to you guys, this is information that we're getting from students based on video that was being shared inside the building there. So we'll obviously have to confirm a lot of this details, but I just want you guys to understand what it's like. I mean, we're having young children talking about sharing video inside the school as people are being stabbed. Shanked is how they referred to it, and they talked about one of those people being hit in the chest. Now, they've seen the video, we haven't. I can tell you right now, Fox 13's Dan Griffin, as he's off camera, is working to get that information. But you got the live feed back up on your screen, and those are more students continuing to pour out. Hey, Alan, I welcome you back in. I apologize if we've got a little bit of misfeed with the audio. And again, to our viewers at home, we're just trying to get you guys all the information in real time. But as we bring in producer Alan's voice, Alan, I mean, how do you even take that in? You've got young people talking about stabbings like it's nothing, and then them talking about, hey, these young people, I feel bad for them. I mean, they're kids themselves. We just shouldn't be seeing this.
We are so desensitized in society these days. If that's getting passed around, if a video of a potential stabbing is just being airdropped around from student to student, what a absolutely wild thought. I was just walking my high school campus and I just got airdropped a video of a stabbing. Like, that's absolutely insane to hear. You don't want this on a high school campus. You don't want this anywhere near a school. You don't want this ever, right? But to have this happen on campus, to hear that there was a security guard that potentially stepped in, 4 students hurt, and a security guard. We are hearing that these victims' injuries are believed to be non-life-threatening injuries. So that is somewhat of the, good news that we're getting from today. But we are still getting lots of information, and we are, hearing from more, witnesses from the school right now as they continue to get picked up.
Now, I see Dan Griffin is listening to us. We'll ask him to give us a thumbs up if he's okay with us jumping back out live. We just got that confirmation. So I apologize. I know you guys as viewers are watching. We just want to get you all this information in real time. So Dan, who's joining us this time?
Yeah, so this is Alyssa, and she lives in the area, and you do not have children who go here, correct? But you were concerned. You said you born and raised, I guess, Tacoma. Yes. Talk to me about what it is that brought you over to the scene.
Well, I just wanted to come kind of out here and see on how it was, and then just kind of concerned about how, like, the students and everybody, the people that were stabbed. So it's kind of just, wanted to see on how they were doing. Makes it a little concerning finding out students in Tacoma are in danger here.
Sounds like that apparently there's a video of this incident that has been airdropped around to students, shared with students. What does that say to you about kind of the state of where things are right now?
I think that's terrible. That's a trauma. These students that were stabbed, that's not really something that they're going to want to relive over and over again. So having that video go around, it could possibly get back to them, can cause them to no longer want to be safe here at school anymore.
Did you hear the response? I mean, there are a ton of vehicles here, a lot of police presence. Did you hear it?
I did not. The news came out and everything came to my phone, and then I came driving by to actually see if it was, and then I seen all the detectives on the other side. The mobile command was showing up the moment I was driving by and everything, and then came to seeing how it was looking on this side and whatnot. Also kind of curious how the Rainiers are going to play tonight.
Yeah, okay. Well, all right. Thank you for talking with us. We appreciate it, and stay safe. Thank you. Thank you. Matt, a lot of people, I guess, hearing about this video, I know we were talking about this, but an apparent video that's being shared, I guess, either by airdrop or on social media, really does kind of paint the picture of what kids are facing growing up these days with technology, these kind of incidents. And, those 2 young ladies telling me this is their first year at Foss, and they're 9th graders, and, they are learning and they're finding their way through high school, and then to have something like this happen, certainly a tough way to have their first year here, and to try to figure out how to finish out the year after something like this.
Yeah, Dan, and one of the things that just strikes me and what makes this so difficult to kind of stomach is I noticed they were talking about, there's some young kids that are dealing with this, like they're dealing with themselves. That woman that just showed up worried was talking about trauma. I mean, like, this is a reminder. I mean, people are oftentimes in shock and not reacting the same way that you typically would. I mean, some of their classmates were just stabbed, and it almost seems like they're desensitized to it all. I wonder for you, as you roll up on a scene like this and you're witnessing all these people exiting, I mean, what was kind of the general tenor of the conversation, or the feeling, the vibe, if you will, that you were getting from these students? Like, are they panicked? Are they scared? Or is this just business as usual, sadly?
Yeah, I think for these kids, this is something that they, I think, have considered could happen, but I think it's something that's extremely unusual, and I think they're trying to work through it. I mean, you hear them talking about this started all over a vape. Apparently, they were having some kind of a dispute over a vape, and it led to this. So I think for them, it's outrageous, but I think it's also not necessarily surprising. I think I heard at least one person say, well, it's Foss. This is what we go through. And so I think that's painting the picture for these young people who are figuring out who they want to be and where they want to go with their lives. And now they're facing a stabbing incident involving not only students, but a security guard who, by the way, if you didn't hear, they seem to really care for. They seem to really appreciate this person who serves as a security guard. And so that's something that I think this is hitting at all levels for them.
Yeah, and Dan, I do want to ask you, because we've been in this coverage for a little bit now, but I know a lot of people are scared and concerned about their loved ones and family. So I want to just kind of reset for a second here, because you and I have been chatting a lot about how this unfolded. We now know that there's some kind of a fight and it spills over, multiple people stabbed, including a security guard from what we're hearing from those young people. We knew the security guard confirmed by Tacoma PD, but now the young 9th grade students are telling you live on our air, yes, they were injured as well through this stabbing. So kind of just set us up, rewind us to the beginning, how this unfolded and what we know confirmed.
Okay, Matt, and I will probably have to keep this relatively brief. I think we're getting kicked off of the property here, but what I want to let you know is that essentially Tacoma police got a call of a potential stabbing incident here. They responded to the scene. They found I believe at least four people who were stabbed or hurt in some way. And then a security guard as well who was hurt in some way. And they were taken to the hospital. Suspect has been detained. The only suspect, from what we're told, has been detained. And the scene is secured. For a while, when we first arrived here, we heard, "This is a lockdown." That repeat sound, it seems to have stopped. We've seen parents here who have come to pick up their children. They've been reunited here near the student parking lot. And we're told that officers are at a local hospital getting the conditions of the people who were involved, who were hurt, trying to determine how they were hurt and how badly they were hurt. But from what we understand, everyone involved who is a victim in this has non-life-threatening injuries. Police have been here working to evacuate the students and reunite them with their parents. And at this point, this is the scene that we have right now. So again, someone did come over and tell us we needed to get off of school property. We're going to evaluate where that is and try to get into a position where we can connect with you once again and continue our coverage. But that's where things stand right now.
All right, Fox 13's Dan Griffin. Dan, I do appreciate it. Thank you so much for being with us and walking our viewers through it. We obviously have a lot more information that we're going to be trying to get. Fox 13's Dan Griffin will be pounding the pavement, as you quite literally saw live on the show. And we also have our Nightside crews working their way down there to Foss High School. So you will have continuing coverage on this, unlike you will anywhere else. Dan, we appreciate it.
Thanks, Matt. You got it.
All right. That is where we will leave things for now. We will continue to stay on top of this story all day long. It's why we're here for you guys throughout the day. Before we wrap things up and throw it to a commercial break, Alan, any final thoughts, words, concerns? Where are we at right now?
Yeah, I think I just kind of go back to the desensitized of how desensitized these students are to potentially just be passing around a video like that is just a crazy thought. I'm still trying to wrap my head around that. Having a stabbing on campus is just such a terrible, terrible thing to happen. 4 students hurt, a security guard as well. Victim is, or the suspect is in custody, and the victim's injuries are supposed to be non-life threatening. So hopefully we're hearing, that these victims will recover from their wounds. But yeah, all of my thoughts are kind of on the students, on the teachers, the administration, and all the parents right now of anyone that's at Foss High School.
This is going to be a difficult one, I think, as we try to figure out what's going on. I know the next story that we'll be tracking with this is going to be, hey, how are the students feeling? How are the administrators doing? How are the teachers doing? The latest information coming in that we know that there are 5 people injured. One of them is security guard, obviously well known based on what we just heard from those 9th grade students who chatted with Fox 13's Dan Griffin. We've got that feed up coming in. These are students and parents trying to get reunited again. We heard from Tacoma Police Department they would be doing that. As we get more information, we will push it out to you here on the Fox Local Live Desk. I'm Matthew Smith. We'll continue to track this, and as we get more information, we'll be sharing it with you. No middleman, no scripts, and just all the details as they come into the newsroom. We'll be right back after this short commercial break. All right, welcome back into the Fox Local Live Desk, everybody. Matthew Smith. We've got that live look outside right now coming in from our Capitol Hill camera, but I want to turnstile and get us right back out to this breaking news unfolding in Tacoma out at Foss High School. It is truly a tragic situation out there where we now know multiple people have been stabbed after what began as a fight over a piece of a vape pen. You've been hearing Fox 13's Dan Griffin. He's been out there talking with students. He's been chatting with a few more people. Dan, who are you bringing into our conversation this time?
Yeah, so I'm talking with two sophomores who apparently at least saw that video, Matt, that we've been hearing about, Dante Ray and Gavin Smith. So this is Gavin, this is Dante here. They're both sophomores. I'll start with you first and I'll make my way over to you. But just talk to me about what you heard or what you saw.
So a couple of my friends go here, and there was an incident that went down back to, like, I heard there was an altercation with two kids, which, like, led in a couple other, and it led into the process of this kid getting surrounded and jumped by 4 kids. And this kid, in self-defense, he pulled out some sort of a knife, like a pocket knife or something, and he punctured each one of the kids, and that's kind of what caused all this.
Yeah, and what did you hear, Dante?
So, I seen a video, so I got like 4 friends here. I'm all close with them. They're like really chill people. So I just heard a little incident between 2 kids. One of the kids were special ed, so they were defending that kid. So basically, they're just sticking up for him. I think that other kid, I don't know what he was doing, but it sounded like they're just sticking up for him. Yeah.
All right, so this does not happen every day, I don't think. I'll start with you. What is your reaction to this? I mean,
I'm a little, like, on edge. Like, I think it's kind of like, it's like sudden. It's kind of out of nowhere, you know? Like, hopefully all of them are okay, but on school grounds, 4 kids, that's not, I'm shocked.
yeah, and what about you, Dante?
Honestly, when I heard my friends got stabbed, I was like kind of broken. I really hope they're okay. The man above only makes that right, so I just pray, make sure they're good. I love y'all for sure.
So these are friends,
Yes, sir.
to some degree. Is it multiple friends or just one friend?
I
Or
have multiple, all 4 of them.
oh wow.
Yes, sir. They're all my brothers.
So is this an expectation when you come to school that something like this may happen, or is this pretty rare?
It's pretty rare, to be honest. You don't, not this happens every day, not even in like the worst states possible. And it's just crazy, you know?
How do you feel about it being on video? I mean, you know, when I was coming up in high school, middle school, this didn't happen. So how do you feel? I mean, somebody took video of this, it's out there, it's being shared.
I mean, it's definitely sad to see young children like this happening to them in this day of age. But I think at the same time, like, I feel like that in a way it was self-defense, but it might benefit the kid who could have screwed up his whole life, so, you know. But no matter what, I don't think it was right to be videoed. I think it shouldn't be getting around that this quickly.
And, you know, Dante, you said these are your friends, so it's on video, it's being shared. How do you feel about that?
I don't know. I just think it wasn't really necessary to be video because, like, not a lot of people need to see that. You know, not a lot of people like to see violence. Feel me? So, like, someone might not want to see it, and they see it, and then they might feel some type of way. So, to be honest, I don't really know because videos happen. People are people. They're going to do what they want at the end of the day.
So there was a woman who came up here to the school. She said she doesn't have kids who go here, but she was worried about you all. She's just worried about the student population after something like this. Have you talked to your parents, either of you, and what have they said?
Yeah, I just talked to my mom. She said she hopes they're okay. To be honest, I don't go here. I just came because I heard my friends got stabbed. So I just talked to my mom about it. She said she hopes they're okay. And yeah.
Yeah. And do you go here too, or?
No, I go to a different school,
Sure.
but yeah, my mom, I talked to her about it. She's praying for him, and she hopes they're healing.
Well, I think it says a lot that you guys showed up, you know, for your friends. I'm glad you guys are okay. I hope your friends will be okay. Thank you for talking to me.
Of course.
Appreciate it. Take care. Thank you. So obviously, this is a situation that has expanded outside of just the school here, because you've got students from other schools who have friends involved in this incident who are showing up, who want to check on one another, who want to make sure that people are doing okay, who want to be able to be here to just basically lean on one another and try to figure this out. Matt, I think back, as I was just saying, to when we were in high school, when we were coming up in school, this kind of stuff, this wasn't being captured on video and being shared throughout the entire student class. And, we hear concerns from people, and we see these students coming up, and you have to wonder what kind of lasting damage and also trauma this kind of a situation is going to cause these students.
Yeah, Dan, it really struck me when you were talking to those two ninth grade students from Foss High School. I know that those young men that you were just speaking with rushed in because they recognized the folks in that video being passed around. But it struck me when you were talking to those ninth graders because of the levity of the situation almost that you heard in their voices, which we know, you and I have covered enough of these stories. People don't react to trauma or traumatic experiences the same way. They may feel differently about this tomorrow, but it just kind of breaks your heart to think that's what these kids are dealing with today. I don't know about you, but are you struck by the way this is all being discussed and the way that it is just so flippant that it's being passed around, that other kids are seeing this video in real time and rushing in and just saying like, hey, yeah, I talked to my mom and now I'm here just checking on my friends. Like it almost seems like any day ending in Y.
Yeah, and I don't have any children, but I'm the oldest brother, and I think about how I would feel if these were my kids, right? And I think that's the thing that's really hitting me in this moment, is that I look at these kids and I see futures, right? I see dreams, I see students who are figuring out who they are and who they want to be, and they are so encompassed in technology, and they never really get to leave any aspect of the world, because when they go home, their friends are texting, when they're out and about, their Snapchat, when they are in the halls here, anything that could have happened outside, it's all just kind of connected, right? And I think it has caused a level of desensitized basically to some of these things, but at the same time, they're carrying the weight of this in every hour and every minute. And then you throw this on top of just trying to make good grades and just trying to make it work. And, it hits me in a way that it's really kind of it's a sad thing. And I also think they all realize that they're all kind of going through something of this nature, which is why they're leaning on each other. But it's a tough thing, to process.
So Inside Baseball now, and viewers of the program are well aware that we like to just kind of read and react to the news as it's coming in. We're tracking it, no scripts. So I noticed that those two young girls were talking about a guy they referred to as Uncle, this security guard. Now, I stress to our viewers that we're talking about it because you've seen it. There's no putting that cat back in the bag, so to speak. We don't have it confirmed yet that he was the person that was stabbed, but we know that they saw the video, so we can assume that they're correct and they know their own friend / security guard out there. As far as the security guard, the necessity, the fact that they're already there, I mean, it's good news that they're there to break these things up. But also, I wonder how those students are going to react to knowing that somebody they care about, somebody that they seem to have a lot of affection for, was actually stabbed in all this. It's not just their fellow students, but it's also the adult that they rely on for protection. We don't know if he stepped into this and got stabbed as a result, but we can definitely put some pieces together here and just wonder how that gentleman's doing.
Yeah, and Tacoma police confirmed a security guard had been involved in this and had been hurt. And, you talk about those two young women. They are in the 9th grade. This is their first year at Foss, and they've already developed that kind of a care for this security guard. It's very clear in hearing that and in just talking with some of the people in the area that this security guard must mean a lot to the students here. Must be a resource, someone that they can, say good morning to, or have a good day, or lean on in moments of stress, or perhaps, situations where maybe they feel like they just need to vent or need someone to confide in a safety matter, or, who knows. But just hearing those two young women talk about that security guard in that way really paints the picture of not only the necessity, but also the relationship that has been built there with the security guard.
All right, and Dan, I know you're going to be preparing for the 4 o'clock newscast. I'll check with you on the back
what
side
time
of
is
this. It's 3:10. Yeah, news is happening in real time. Dan, I will check in with you on the other side of this. We're going to hand our viewers off to that interview you did with those 2 young women out there at Foss High School, and we'll chat offline about whether or not you can continue or if you need to prep for Seattle news tonight. But to our viewers at home, we're going to hand you off that interview that Dan and I were just talking about, because I think it is really eye-opening. These are 2 young women, 9th grade students going to Foss High School, and we'll be keeping tabs offline with Dan Griffin and continue our coverage. Let's listen into that interview from a short while ago.
All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to have you, can you give me your name first?
My name's Emily.
What's your name?
Hi, Monty.
Okay. What I'd like to do is start with, you said you kind of know what happened. Can you walk me through what you heard, what you saw?
So basically, this one guy, he took somebody's vape pen, and they didn't like that, so they were going to jump him, or they did, I think. And he had a knife, and he shanked 4 kids and 1 adult.
Did you see it?
Oh no.
But you heard about it?
Yeah.
And what did you think? I mean, this is kind of crazy.
It's ghetto. Why are we stealing from people, and especially carrying a weapon to school and killing people is crazy. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I don't know.
How are other students reacting?
I mean, I don't really know. They look pretty fine to me, but I feel like it's traumatizing because it's your first year, and like it's almost the end of the school year, and people are killing people, violence. So.
Yeah. Well, I want to ask you too, because you had some insights here. Tell me what you saw or what you heard.
Okay, in class, we hear, this is a lockdown, okay? And then everybody's like, what is going on? And then all of a sudden, I see the video airdropped to my friend's phone, and we seen the whole video happen of the whole fight and stuff, and it was just crazy. It was so bad. There was blood everywhere. And then I heard that basically the person who had the knife was, I don't even know. They said it was some older kid that was already had been to jail and stuff, so they came in with a knife. And then, yeah, and then they only fought because over a puff bar. That was so crazy. We're fighting over puffs.
Students?
Yeah. I don't know who the students are.
But they're all students, everybody
All
involved?
students, yes.
So what are you feeling? I mean, obviously we keep hearing this is a lockdown. You were here to have a regular day at school.
Exactly, a regular day at school, and to be honest, I feel like this school is not safe.
At all.
At all. Not safe at all.
I'm scared for my life now.
Because we could have been in that situation.
Exactly.
We could have been there. We could have gone.
And it was near her 6th period too, so if we went on to 6th period.
By my 6th period.
And what grade are you both in?
9th. First year of high school.
Exactly, and it's already happening.
It's already happening.
Wow. You know, I think back to 9th grade when I was in 9th grade, and I can't imagine something like this happening. And then I assume you'll have to come right back and get right back to classes and try to finish out the year. I mean, how do you do that?
I feel like if you really think it's funny, you'll be okay with it. But I feel really bad for them because it's their kids, their parents are worried. Somebody got shanked multiple times in the chest. I hope he's all right. And then other people got chased.
And you say there's video of this?
Yes, there's video footage of this happening. It was so crazy. I can't believe I saw that video. And then Uncle, the best security guard out there, shout out to Uncle. He got stabbed and he got cut on the wrist. I feel so bad.
Wow, so a security guard, he must have stepped in, I guess?
Yeah,
or is
he
that...
stepped in to try to help. And he was trying to stop the fight. And then,
What do you think this says about the importance of having an adult in there, a security guard or somebody in there to try to be there for you all?
I mean, I feel really grateful because if he wasn't there, it probably would have even escalated even more.
Yeah,
there could have been several more injuries than what already had been. It's so sad.
Okay. Well, thank you both for talking to me. I'm glad you're okay. What I was going to do is, and you wouldn't like to talk with us, you said no. Okay. What I'd like to do is in just a second maybe I want to make sure I get your names correctly spelled and everything, so I'm going to touch base with you in just a second if that's okay.
Okay.
All right, so that was Fox 13's Dan Griffin speaking to those 2 ninth grade students a short while ago. We are going to continue our conversation with Dan in just a little bit. We have some new live images coming in. So this is coming in from that same camera. Our crew is out there on the ground. And I do want to stress we're going to do continuing coverage on this throughout the day. We got about 45 minutes left in our show, but we're going to hand you off to Seattle News Tonight. And you can bet that we will stay on top of this story for you. But I kind of want to do a reset for you all and just get you information that has been confirmed by the Tacoma Police Department. Here's what we're told. A suspect was detained, in other words, in custody, and the scene is secure. You can see police have it locked down on your screen right there. If you were live with us earlier today, you saw that we had a number of those students being escorted out of the building. That was in an effort to reunite them with parents. School was supposed to wrap up at 2:45, but we know this stabbing took place before then. Now, Tacoma Police, Tacoma Public Schools, they were working together to reunite those families. The initial call came in as a stabbing at Foss High School stemming from a fight. Now, we picked up from those students that have been talking with Fox 13's Dan Griffin that this actually started over a vape pen. At least that's what students are being told. And when I say they're being told, it's not like they're being told that by administrative officials. This is literally word of mouth bouncing around Foss High School there in Tacoma and outside, because there's video of this that has been airdropped from student to student and now has kind of jumped the school atmosphere, and students from other schools have driven up over there to this high school to check on their friends that they saw in that video. Again, we've been learning all of this in real time right along with you, as Fox 13's Dan Griffin was the first reporter on the scene out there rushing in from his other assignment today. Officers arrived, found 4 students hurt and a security guard hurt. You heard the girls refer to somebody they know as Uncle. Sounds like he was injured in this scuffle as well. Again, we know that a security guard was injured. That has been confirmed by Tacoma Police Department. The person that was injured, that was information coming from those students. And I'll be honest, we usually don't share that kind of information, but it came out live on our air and there's no putting that back in. Also, they're working to determine if everyone that was hurt were stabbed, because as you can imagine, when there's a fight, when there's a stabbing, when there's anything, there is panic. It's kind of the don't yell fire in a movie theater ethos. Folks were running, they were scattering, there were people being injured, so they're still trying to figure out whether everybody was stabbed. But from what those girls were saying, based on what they saw on video, it doesn't sound good. Now, the initial information, I want to stress this is initial information. The victim's injuries, according to Tacoma Police, are believed to be non-life threatening. All of the individuals that were injured were rushed out to a local hospital. Officers are still working to get information because, as you can imagine, the conversation continues as they try to talk with those that were injured to figure out, hey, how did this all start? How did this actually happen? Now, we do not know what was used to stab the victims. We did hear from one of the students that they pulled out a knife. That is unconfirmed information. We are still awaiting details from police on that. The school was on a lockdown. Both Dan and I were commenting to our live viewers earlier. It was kind of eerie when they first showed up. There was these kids all walking out. It was pretty quiet, and then you just heard this robotic voice screaming, this is a lockdown, as kids slowly emerged from the school, those that were unharmed. Police obviously evacuated people, and you still see from our live pictures off on the left-hand side of your screen, there are still a number of people hanging out in the area. All right, I'm gonna chat with my producer here, Alan. I see he's working behind the scenes to get us a couple interviews queued up. Are we good to go on these individuals? Okay, so for the viewers at home, we're gonna rewind time. Fox 13's Dan Griffin will still join us a little bit later in our show, but he's also pulling things together for Seattle News Tonight. While we wait for Dan to reestablish contact and jump in on this conversation about multiple people stabbed, I want to hand you off to an interview that happened just a short time ago. Again, Fox 13's Dan Griffin now talking with 2 students that knew some of the people, some of the victims. They spotted them on that video that has been circulating around the Tacoma area. They panicked because they recognized these people and they rushed in to try to see what was going on with their friends. Let's listen into that interview together.
Just talk to me about what you heard or what you saw.
So a couple of my friends go here, and there was an incident that went down back to, like, I heard there was an altercation with 2 kids, which, like, led in a couple other, and it led into the process of this kid getting surrounded and jumped by 4 kids. And this kid in self-defense, he pulled out some sort of a knife, like a pocket knife or something, and he punctured each one of the kids. And that's kind of what caused all this.
Yeah. And what did you hear, Dante?
So I seen a video, so I got like 4 friends here. I'm all close with them. They're like really chill people. So I just heard a little incident between 2 kids. One of the kids were special ed, so they were defending that kid. So basically, they're just sticking up for him. I think that other kid, I don't know what he was doing, but it sounded like they're just sticking up for him. Yeah.
All right, so this does not happen every day, I don't think. I'll start with you. What is your reaction to this? I mean,
I'm a little like on edge. Like I think it's kind of like it's like sudden. It's kind of out of nowhere, you know. Like hopefully all of them are okay, but on school grounds, 4 kids. That's not. I'm shocked.
yeah. And what about you, Dante?
Honestly, when I heard my friends got stabbed, I was like kind of broken. I really hope they're okay. The man above only makes that right, so I just pray, make sure they're good. I love y'all though, for sure.
So these are friends,
Yes, sir.
to some degree. Is it multiple friends or just one friend?
I
Or
have multiple, all 4 of them.
oh wow.
Yes, sir. They're all my brothers.
So is this an expectation when you come to school that something like this may happen, or is this pretty rare?
It's pretty rare, to be honest. You don't, not this happens every day, not even in like the worst states possible. And it's just crazy, you know?
How do you feel about it being on video? I mean, you know, when I was coming up in high school, middle school, this didn't happen. So how do you feel? I mean, somebody took video of this, it's out there, it's being shared.
I mean, it's definitely sad to see young children like this happening to them in this day of age. But I think at the same time, like, I feel like that in a way it was self-defense, but it might benefit the kid who could have screwed up his whole life, so you know. But no matter what, I don't think it was right to be videoed. I think it shouldn't be getting around that this quickly.
And, you know, Dante, you said these are your friends, so it's on video, it's being shared. How do you feel about that?
I don't know. I just think it wasn't really necessary to be video because, like, not a lot of people need to see that. You know, not a lot of people like to see violence. Feel me? So, like, someone might not want to see it, and they see it, and then they might feel some type of way. So, to be honest, I don't really know because videos happen. People are people. They're going to do what they want at the end of the day.
So there was a woman who came up here to the school. She said she doesn't have kids who go here, but she was worried about you all. She's just worried about the student population after something like this. Have you talked to your parents, either of you, and what have they said?
Yeah, I just talked to my mom. She said she hopes they're okay. To be honest, I don't go here. I just came because I heard my friends got stabbed. So I just talked to my mom about it. She said she hopes they're okay. And yeah.
Yeah. And do you go here too, or?
No, I go to a different school,
Sure.
but yeah, my mom, I talked to her about it. She's praying for him, and she hopes they're healing.
Well, I think it says a lot that you guys showed up, you know, for your friends. I'm glad you guys are okay. I hope your friends will be okay. Thank you for talking to me.
Of course.
Appreciate it. Take care. Thank you.
All right, so that was Fox 13's Dan Griffin talking to 2 of those individuals. These were students that were worried about their own friends after they heard about what was going on. So we've been showing you these live images for quite some time now. We're getting some new images from a new location, a different angle of Foss High School. This is another individual. I told you earlier we had crews rush out there. Off in the distance you can see the mobile command unit. This is what they bring in for these large incidents typically whenever there's concerns. Basically, if you have a very large police presence, you're going to see them trying to have a multi-jurisdictional approach, and they bring in that mobile command so they can try to help out. In this case, likely because they were trying to evacuate all those students before school wrapped up. Now, we've moved through time a little bit. At this point, school is typically out, but we know the stabbing was happening during school hours. While we were just listening into that interview from Fox 13's Dan Griffin, I just got bumped from our assignment desk here. So more information is still trickling in. And I always stress to you guys that all of this is preliminary information. That's what we always hear from crews on the ground, investigators, public information officers, and the like. They will always say this is preliminary information bound to change. So here's what we are hearing now, because we initially said 5 people injured. We're now hearing Tacoma Fire says 6 patients were transported. 5 were from the school. The last one was in Tacoma PD custody. So this kind of gives us some better information as far as how many people were injured. We were openly questioning, were the 5 people injured, including the person that is accused of stabbing these others? We now know, no, there were 6 people. So 5 people transported from the school, a 6th from Tacoma Police. That would be the person accused of stabbing individuals. Tacoma Fire did evaluate all of those people, and then they made the decision to transport them. Here's what we have as far as details on injuries, again, from Tacoma Fire. They say 4 people were in serious condition, 2 people have non-life-threatening injuries. And I'll be honest with you guys, sometimes this can get a little confusing and it's a little hard to parse because, as we noted earlier, we didn't hear about anybody in critical condition, which is good news because that is the worst condition to be in. Them pausing to say 2 have non-life-threatening injuries instead of 6 is obviously going to raise some red flags. So we hope to get some more information on that for you and push that out as soon as we get it. Our understanding is that Tacoma General was receiving individuals. 3 of the injured went to Tacoma General and 1 went to Allen Moore Hospitals. I see Fox 13's Dan Griffin has reappeared. If he hears me, he'll be able to give me a thumbs up, and if he doesn't, we'll move on. Sounds like we're still waiting to establish contact. Apologize to our viewers. I know you guys are probably hoping to get information as soon as possible. He has been working to try to hear from Tacoma Police Department. I know we gave you guys some information earlier, but as we get those details, we will push them out. But he is standing in front of the camera, so hopefully we'll be able to check in with him in just a little bit. But right now, still trying to sort through the details here after we know multiple people were stabbed at Foss High School. The latest news coming in, Tacoma Fire says that 6 patients had to be transported. Again, one of those patients, and the reason that we've now seen that number grow from 5 to 6 is they're including the person who did the stabbings out there at Foss High School. Now, we're able to connect the dots on some of this information between what we've confirmed and what we haven't been able to confirm through police. But what we now know between Tacoma Fire and Tacoma PD, 5 people injured, stabbed. That includes a security guard. So 4 students, 1 security guard, and then the 6th person, yet another student. They are in custody right now. All right, we will stay with you throughout the day on this story. I'm going to take a short commercial break while we reestablish contact with Fox 13 Seattle's Dan Griffin, who is on the scene out there at Foss High School. A reminder, we are still rushing more crews out there, and we are gathering details on this. If you're a parent out there, we will continue to get more information and get it out to you in a timely fashion, and we'll make sure that all those details that come out to you are confirmed. We don't want you guys getting any bad information out there. We'll be with you as the news continues to break here on the Fox Local Live Desk. Welcome back into the Fox Local Live Desk, everybody. Matthew Smith here inside the Fox 13 Seattle newsroom. You're seeing our camera kind of move around in the parking lot out there at Foss High School because we are on standby and we hope to be hearing from the Tacoma Police Department. The public information officer will be speaking in front of the cameras with our photographer on the scene. I mentioned earlier that we have multiple crews on the ground out there. We have multiple people stabbed at a high school. We want to make sure we cover this wall to wall and that you guys are getting all the information as soon as we get it. So we really do appreciate Fox 13's Dan Griffin. He's been on the ground. He rushed in there, I believe, the first reporter on the scene. Dan, there has been so much going on out there. I know you've been gathering as much information as you can, but for our viewers that may not have been watching us all day, can you just take us off the very top? What's been going on out there?
Yeah, so from what we understand, Tacoma police were called here to Foss High School a little bit earlier this afternoon after reports of 4 students who apparently had been stabbed or hurt in one way or another, and then also a security guard who had also been either hurt or stabbed in one way or another. They're still trying to determine that information and the extent of the injuries, but from what we are told, a suspect was detained pretty quickly, and in talking with students, it sounds like this all started with a dispute over a vape pen, and then the stabbing incident and this fight that took place was captured on video and then either airdropped or shared on social media amongst the students. I want to give you a live look at what we're seeing here right now. You can see Tacoma police still here on the scene at Foss High School. We've seen parents, we have seen students, we have seen, I believe, what appear to be school officials, all gathered here trying to assess and help evacuate the students and get them reconnected with their parents. All of this really in the midst of a school day here. We've talked with a number of students, including those who were in the 9th grade and the 10th grade, who were talking about the extent of this incident and how it was quick. That word spread around the school, as well as that video showing what happened. From what we've gathered in talking with investigators here, they do not know the extent of the injuries of the people who were hurt in this, but they are believed to be non-life threatening, so that's good. But we are told that officers are still working to get more information about this. They did not have information to share with us about what was used to stab the students or the victims in this. They did not have information to share with us about where this took place in the school. But in talking with the students, again, they say this started with a vape of some kind, a dispute over a vape. One student said that it appeared one student used, the suspect used a pocket knife to do the stabbing here. And, we heard when we pulled up, this is a lockdown over and over and over as students were being evacuated from the school to be reconnected with their parents. So it has been a hectic and certainly traumatic afternoon for students here at Foss High School, home of the Falcons, as it says here on the signs. And, some of the students we talked with, 9th graders, so this is basically their first year at this school, and they're just trying to get through their first year, and they say this happens, and what a difficult day for them, and certainly one that they're going to be reflecting on for some time, and certainly as this video continues to be shared as well.
Dan, I appreciate you walking our viewers through it. For those that have been watching along, I want to let them know the Tacoma Police Department's public information officer just showed up on scene, and we're going to be getting ready, gearing up to take our viewers out there live. We're going to listen in as she breaks down what we know in real time. So I'll show you the images that are coming into our newsroom right now. Again, this is Shelby Boyd with the Tacoma Police Department, and I know we're going to get some movement on the camera and some chit chat beforehand, but I just want you guys to understand that all the news crews are rushing in, throwing on microphones, because we want to get the most information that we can as far as what took place with this stabbing. Multiple people transported, according to Tacoma Fire, 6 that we know of, 4 of them students, 1 of them a security guard, and that 6th unknown, because we don't know whether or not that stabber was a member of the school. So from my vantage point, it looks like Shelby Boyd is getting the first question. We will jump in live and listen in to her comments together.
We received a call to the 2100 block of South Tyler Street. The call indicated that there was some type of an altercation, a stabbing that occurred at the school. Officers and District Patrol arrived. We located 4 students that were victims, unsure of exactly what the injuries are at this time. We also located a security officer who had gotten some injuries related to this, and then we were able to detain the suspect. All 6 of those individuals were transported to a local area hospital. I don't have their conditions, but we locked the school down. The investigation is going on behind me now.
So we can't confirm if any of the 5 victims were actually stabbed yet.
We're uncertain. I don't know how many were stabbed, if there were lacerations compared to abrasions. I don't have that information yet.
Any idea what the altercation started over, why people were maybe fighting?
Yeah, that's information that'll come out in the investigation itself.
And you said your response was pretty quick to get
It was
here.
pretty quick, yeah. I don't know the exact minutes, but we were here pretty fast.
What was it like apprehending the suspect?
That I don't know, but I know that by the time I got on scene, there were a lot of cars, there were a lot of people. We had, the school was locked down, and then officers were able to release those students out into the parking lot where they were, unified with their families. Some were able to get on buses and get out of the area, but it took place pretty quick.
So the altercation happened inside a school building?
It happened somewhere up in near the school. I don't know exactly where yet.
During school hours?
Yes.
And it was during like a lunch or recess period?
I'm not certain. It's a high school. I don't know if they have recess.
It sounds like there were patients contacted in different areas. Do you believe they were treated there, or did they get created in separate areas?
So I don't know exactly where the altercation or the victims were located, but I can tell you that when officers locate an individual that has been injured, they do a quick triage. If it's something they have to do right then and there, they do if it's safe and feasible to do so. So I just know that the officers were able to get them out of the school and into waiting ambulances and off to the hospital.
How long was the school on lockdown?
I believe it's still pretty much locked down. So if someone wanted to get in, they're not getting in the school.
But students were let out once the normal...
Yep. Once the scene was determined as safe, we knew the suspect was in custody, then the officers were able to get kids out to the parking lot.
Any parents or students involved, have they all been notified?
That's my understanding.
Do you have any idea from the school district if campus will be closed, open tomorrow?
That's information I don't have.
Is the suspect a student?
Yes. There were 6 individuals. 1 was a security guard, and the remaining 5 were students.
And no idea you have relation between students?
No, I don't know.
And all 6 at the hospital, in the hospital?
Yes, all 6 were transported to local hospitals. A variety of hospitals were used.
Is that security guard a district employee then, not law enforcement?
So they apparently at the high school they have some security guards, and then there's also district patrol. District patrol is shared amongst all of the high schools in Tacoma. The school has apparently 2 security guards that work specifically at this school, and it was one of those individuals.
Are the security guards armed?
I'm uncertain. I don't believe so.
There's a video circulating on social media of the fight. Is law enforcement aware of that? Is that part of the evidence?
If there's video, we would love to have that.
So you don't have it at this point?
I don't know if detectives do. I know detectives are behind me. They're going through everything. So it could be a case where they have it, but to be safe, if you have video, please send it in. I would rather have it 10 times than not at all.
Can you tell us about what led up to this? We're hearing from students that the suspect stole something, and then the 4 were trying to defend him, something like that.
I don't know any of that. I don't know.
If anybody does have any video or anything else they think is pertinent, how would they get that to you?
They would call 911, say that they have information or video related to this incident, and we'll make sure that we get a hold of that.
How long do you expect campus to be like this police presence?
We'll be here for a while. Obviously, a thorough investigation is going to take some time, so I assume that we'll be here for a while.
At this point, no fatalities.
Correct.
But if that changes, how does this investigation change?
Well, any investigation, once there's a fatality, will transition to a homicide. But we have detectives on scene, and a detective does detectives things, whether it's a homicide, a stabbing, an assault. So they'll do a thorough investigation, and however this ends, they will do a thorough investigation.
It's about 1:35, you said that police...
1:35 is when South Sound 911 was called.
Okay, and any idea when that was? Immediately after the altercation or the injuries?
Oh, I don't know the delay.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your message to parents who, got the notification that this was happening today?
Yeah, as a mom, I know how terrifying that could feel. But I would say that, we were here quick. We were here and we were able to locate the individual. The school worked with us, and everything was secured pretty quickly. So, yeah.
Do you have any outside agency assists?
I've seen a couple different cars from different agencies. I don't know what their involvement's been, but I have seen other cars here.
Is it, I guess, in your experience, we are more typically hearing of school shootings, not school mass stabbings. Can you speak to that part of this?
Yeah, violence comes in all forms, and unfortunately today it was this. None of it is okay, and it's not allowed in our schools, and it's not accepted in our schools. So yeah, it's unfortunate.
Do we know how the suspect was able to get into the school with that knife? Or are there metal detectors here? Or
I don't know. I know that the suspect is a student here. So outside of that, I don't know.
Is there specific policy within the department with schools in the Tacoma School District for responding to some kind of mass violent situation like this?
Yeah, I mean, for any large location, whether they're students and or at a large business, right? There's a way that we respond. There's a way that we communicate. There's a way that we isolate, put information out, make sure that families know where to go if they have loved ones there. So it's a pretty routine isn't a great word to use, but it's a response that is practiced by law enforcement. It's practiced by your schools, and that's what we showed today was that practice for incidents like this.
Clarify, I think I heard 6 victims, but one of them is also suspect.
Correct. Yep, correct.
And were 5 of them students?
5 were students. One of those 5 is the suspect.
And was the suspect the one that was armed with something?
I don't know. I don't know the answer. If anybody else armed them, I don't know.
Have weapons been recovered from?
I don't know.
When can we expect another update from you guys?
Well, I would say that this is going to carry on into the night. I don't know if you'll get an update from us or from the school district or who, but I would say get a hold of me if you have questions throughout the evening. I'll do my best.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so the latest on this, we have multiple students injured. That includes the suspect themselves and a security guard. One of the reasons that conversation was kind of broaching on this, would this change if somebody doesn't make it? The latest details that we have, 6 patients transported. Now, this is new information coming in right now from Tacoma Fire. In fact, as I talk through this, I'm going to ask our producer, Alan, if he can jump into our breaking news channel. Tacoma Fire just tweeted out some new information, and I want people to see that this is not speculation from me, but instead this is real-time information that is developing. I always tell you guys that details change over time, and that we always refer to this stuff as preliminary information. And that preliminary information is changing in real time. Now, we started the day saying that we knew 5 people were stabbed, and we didn't know if they were students or not. We then updated you and said we now know there were 6 people transported. Sorry, we've been with you for a few hours there. We told you that we knew that 5 people were transported and that a 6th person was a suspect. We now have new updates on their conditions, and it's not good. So I'm bracing you for that. Just in from Tacoma Fire moments ago. Foss High School, 1:35. At 1:35, Tacoma PD responded to reports of an active assault. At 1:38, Tacoma Fire responded to treat and transport 6 patients, 4 patients in critical condition, 1 adult with minor injuries, 1 possible suspect with minor injuries. So this really changes the name of the game right now. We were telling you that 4 people were in serious condition a short time ago. We are now seeing that 4 people are in critical condition. Again, this coming in from Tacoma Fire. You were just listening in live as Shelby Boyd, the public information officer for the Tacoma Police Department, was explaining and said that she did not have the conditions. So things are changing in real time. And now Tacoma Fire says 4 people are in critical condition. Important to note, 1 adult with minor injuries. We know the adult was a security guard. The suspect has minor injuries. So what we now know is that 4 people that were injured were the students that were not the stabbing suspect, and they are now in critical condition. So that is new information coming in real time from Tacoma Fire Department. We continue to get live feeds coming in from the Foss High School lot where you see those Tacoma police cars are out there. And I know sometimes it's really hard. Oftentimes when you guys watch our news, you're getting just these little minor 30, 40-second sound clips and bites, and it may sound like there's a lot of information. However, when you listen to these long format interviews, it may get a little confusing because you're like, well, wait a second, you're the police. Of course you know the information. I will stress that public information officers are rushing in just like our reporters rush in. They're trying to get information, so they don't have all the details that the detectives have. So when you hear them say we don't have information on conditions, or I don't know if we already have that video, because if you've been watching for a while now, you're well aware that there is video of this stabbing. We have not seen it, and I'll tell you, even if we had it, it would be heavily edited before we share it with you, because we don't want to share that type of thing on camera with you. But what we do know is that that video is circulating at Foss High School, and multiple students that Fox 13's Dan Griffin spoke to have already seen that video. They mentioned that one of the people was stabbed in the chest, and that was unconfirmed information. It remains unconfirmed information. But this now makes a lot more sense as we hear from Tacoma Fire, again, that 4 people are in critical condition, and sadly, those 4 people, by process of elimination, based on the information Tacoma Fire just put out, we know it's not the suspect, we know it's not the security guard, so we have 4 students at Foss High School that appear to be in critical condition. We will have continuing coverage here on the Fox Local Live Desk. We're 12 minutes away from the top of our show, where we will hand you off to Seattle News Tonight. I'll be right back after a short commercial break as we sift through these details. More on the Fox Local Live Desk when we return. Welcome back into the Fox Local Live Desk. You may notice a change in tone, a change in my voice. We have some sad updates on this story, as you just heard before we went to the break. This is a live image coming in from one of our news crews out at Foss High School in Tacoma. If you're unfamiliar with the area, just as a reset for those of you that may not have been with us earlier in the day, this is the school near Cheney Stadium. We've been telling you throughout the day, and I've been stressing that when we have these live breaking events, police always tell us information is preliminary. We were hearing live on your screen a short time ago, Shelby Boyd was explaining that she did not have conditions. We had earlier in the day gotten conditions from Tacoma Fire and Tacoma Police saying that we had multiple non-life-threatening injuries, but the numbers continue to grow of how many people were injured. We now have this latest update coming in from Tacoma Fire telling us 6 patients, 4 people in critical condition. They add that 1 adult has minor injuries, 1 suspect, possible suspect, has minor injuries. And just based on the context clues and the information that we have, where we are led to go now is that we have 4 young students at Foss High School that are stabbing victims that are in critical condition. Now, I will stress that police have said that they don't know if everybody was stabbed, if there was injuries in other ways, but at a minimum, there was a stabbing, and 4 students that were not the suspect in this case appear to be in critical condition based on this information from Tacoma Fire. It's why we've been sticking with you throughout the day. This is that worst case scenario that we feared. Bringing back in Fox 13's Alan Pavlik. Alan, I know you've been with me since the start of this. We were talking about how we really hoped that this wasn't the direction that this was going to go, and we stressed that we would only pass along information as it was confirmed, because rumors are always swirling, but now we can confirm we have 4 people in critical condition. This is exactly what every parent out there was fearing.
Yeah, this is the worst possible situation we could have had right now at Tacoma High School, at Foss High School. 4 kids left their parents' house this morning thinking they were going to school to learn, to get an education, to maybe hang out with some friends. What has happened since then is just pretty tragic, having 4 kids in critical condition in the hospital after a stabbing. We've heard from students, we've heard from, neighbors, and it's all just so sad. It's all so tragic. Some students saying that this was maybe potentially over a stolen vape pen, and maybe some people trying to get back at that stolen vape pen, and maybe that's where the fight happened. We don't know exactly how this all happened. We do know that this started around 1:45, so about 2 hours ago we started getting word that something was going on in Tacoma. Within about 20 minutes, by 2:10, we got word confirmed from Tacoma Fire that there was a stabbing at Foss High School and that the school was under lockdown. And now within the last 10 minutes, we're hearing that these students are actually in critical condition, and one adult has minor injuries. The suspect as well with minor injuries. So that just kind of gets my whole brain going of like, how did this start? How did this end? Just a tragic scene that's going on right now.
Yeah. This is a story that has gotten more complicated than it needed to be, and it got complicated the second that somebody introduced a weapon into the situation. You have a scuffle, you have a fight over something inside a school, and the next thing you know, you have multiple kids stabbed. And you heard those 9th graders that we listened to earlier, and you'll be hearing them in Seattle News Tonight coming up at 4 o'clock. They talked about young people having to deal with this. They're watching this on video. It is hard to imagine that this is what kids get sent off to. So we will keep the conversation going. While we wrap up here, I do want to stress we have a crew out there on the ground, and they will continue this coverage for you upstairs. Alan, I will just open it up. I know we've got a little less than 2 minutes. Any final parting thoughts here to say goodbye to our viewers?
Yeah, I think that some things don't need to be shared. Just in general. It's really sad to hear that this video is being shared around from student to student. And as those students, talk to Dan about it, it makes you feel some type of way to see that your friend potentially was a victim in this stabbing. So, yeah, I mean, to me, that's kind of, my heart goes out to, all the victims, all the family, the school, the administration. But yeah, maybe some things just don't need to be shared, and we can keep some things off the internet sometimes.
Yeah, could not agree more. Alan, thank you for riding shotgun with me today as we got this breaking news out to our viewers. To the parents out there, I'm sorry that this is such a difficult story and that this is where we're at this point in the day. Again, 4 students in critical condition, the security guard there at Foss High School with minor injuries, and the 6th person that was injured is in fact the suspect in the case, and they too have minor injuries. We don't know which way this will go, but our crew will be with you throughout the night. As I told you, we scrambled folks out there early. You've been listening to Fox 13's Dan Griffin. We have other crews that are working right now to get you more information, and we will hand you off to Seattle News Tonight. If you're watching us right now on the Fox Local Live app, all you have to do is hang out. We'll hand you off nice and clean coming up after the commercial break. If you're watching us on Fox 13 Plus, Good Morning Football is up next. I implore you to switch it over to Fox 13, our main channel, where we'll make sure this continuing coverage goes out to you. And we'll be pulling for those students. More news when we come back.
We begin tonight with breaking news. 6 people, most of them students, have been hurt after stabbing at Tacoma's Foss High School. Police say 1 person is in custody. We're just learning that person is a student. Emergency responders were called to the school around 1:30, and that's where we find Fox 13's Dan Griffin. Dan, you've been out there all afternoon talking with students who are understandably in distress. We're now learning that that suspect in custody is a fellow student. What can you tell us?
Well, you know, certainly an unsettling and heartbreaking situation for students, parents, anyone really involved with Foss High School here this afternoon. From what we understand, there are 6 patients, according to Tacoma Fire. They are saying that it's 4 victim students, the suspect, who is a student, and a security guard, and 4 of those students, from what we have gathered, are in critical here after the stabbing incident where Tacoma police were called here to the scene about 1:30 this afternoon. We are told that the suspect apparently has minor injuries after this incident, but those others very much hurt, critically hurt there with critical condition. So we're told this stemmed from a fight. In talking with several students, they say that apparently there was some kind of a dispute over a vape pen that led into this fight that was captured on camera, and we actually interviewed a student who described that. I want to take a listen real quick.
It was just crazy. It was so bad. There was blood everywhere. And then I heard that basically the person who had the knife was, I don't even know. They said it was some older kid that was already had been to jail and stuff, so they came in with a knife. And then, yeah, and then they only fought because over a puff bar.
And, you know, obviously a very devastating scene for these students, the parents, the teachers. The students talked about the adult who was also hurt in this incident, a security guard who they've gotten close to, who they know very well. I talked with a couple of 9th grade girls. This is their first year here at Foss. They reflected on the security guard. Take a listen.
So I feel like this school is not safe at all. At all. The best security guard out there. Shout out to Uncle. He got stabbed and he got cut on the wrist. If he wasn't there, it probably would have even escalated even more. Yeah.
And we've been here through the afternoon covering this. We've seen a number of different developments here. When we first arrived, we heard this is a lockdown on repeat, an announcement very eerie as students were being brought out to the parking lot to be reunited with their parents and, you know, to just get out of the school where this has occurred. We talked with Shelby Boyd. She's with Tacoma Police, and she described the impact of a situation like this on parents, and she mentioned she's a parent herself. I want to listen to what she shared as she reflected on an incident like this and responding as officers to something like this.
You know, as a mom, I know how terrifying that could feel, but I would say that, you know, we were here quick. We were here and we were able to locate the individual. The school worked with us, and it, you know, everything was secured pretty quickly.
So rounding all of this out, we know that there are 4 students, critical condition. It's just horrible news here. To build on that, we are told in talking with a number of students that this was captured on video by potentially, I assume, some other students, and it has been shared on social media, apparently by airdrop. There are students who are seeing this over and over and over, playing this traumatic scene. Police have been making a call. If you have that video, even if you think someone else has sent that in, they are asking you to please share that with them as they investigate what happened here today. And of course, we're going to continue to track this. We'll keep you informed with more coverage coming up. But for now, reporting live here in Tacoma, Dan Griffin, Fox 13 News.
Dan, just a disturbing situation all around. Thank you for your reporting. And as Dan mentioned, Fox 13 will continue to follow this breaking news. You can find all updates using the Fox Local app or heading to fox13seattle.com. Now to the sentencing for a double murder in Maple Valley involving white supremacist gang ties, a shootout with Pierce County deputies, and the retaliatory killing of a horse. Brandon Gerner will spend the next 84 years behind bars. Gerner and another man, Cody Olson, killed Robert Riley and Ashley Nicole Williams in Maple Valley back in 2023. Riley was shot and killed when he found Gerner, Olson, and another accomplice, Joshua Jones, on his property. He confronted the group at gunpoint when court documents say Olson shot and killed him. Ashley Williams was then stabbed to death for witnessing Riley's murder.
He ordered the execution of Robert, my best friend. He shot Robert's old blind dog. Then he brutally, violently, viciously, and horribly butchered Ashley, a mother of 5 kids that was begging for her life.
Amount to an additional point.
Brandon Gerner wasn't charged with the murders until months later in February of 2024. Gerner's partner in crime, Cody Olson, was never charged because he was killed in a shootout with Pierce County deputies.
No, I'm shot. I'm shot. Shot fired, officer down. Give us.
But the story doesn't end there. One day after Olson's death, someone shot and killed a horse. Brandon Gerner told police informants he pulled the trigger as a sacrifice to the Norse god Odin in retaliation for Cody Olson's death. In Marysville, police are still trying to identify the woman whose body was found inside a garbage can. We brought this to you as breaking news last night. It happened near Grove Street and 72nd Avenue Northeast near Jennings Memorial Park. The Snohomish County Medical Examiner is investigating to determine the woman's identity and cause of death. Still ahead on Seattle News Tonight, we're talking to the man who was the one to discover the body. We'll have that story in about 10 minutes. Seattle police say a man has been arrested for an armed robbery turned homicide in Belltown earlier this month. It happened on 4th Avenue back on April 9th. That's when police say a 41-year-old was robbed and shot. The victim died the next day. SPD says the 34-year-old suspect was picked up by the U.S. Marshals Task Force. He's in King County Jail on suspicion of murder and robbery. 2 men are hospitalized from 2 separate crime scenes in Rainier Beach. Seattle police say the 2 cases are connected. Officers were first called to a gas station on Rainier Avenue South for an unresponsive 50-year-old. Moments later, police found a man stabbed a few blocks away. According to SPD, a 56-year-old was sitting in a car when a man approached the vehicle and stabbed him. The victim allegedly drove after the alleged assailant, running him over before calling 911. Both men were taken to Harborview. Police are still trying to sort out what led up to the assault. After weeks of delays, lawmakers on Capitol Hill voted to fund most of the Department of Homeland Security, but the bill stopped short of funding immigration enforcement operations. Lawmakers passed a Senate bill that funds all of DHS except for ICE and Border Patrol. Republicans now say they'll try to a reconciliation bill to restore ICE and CPB funding to avoid a Democratic filibuster, but there's still disagreements on what other priorities that legislation would contain.
There's a division within the conference about we got to get this done today, and others that believe that we can add other things to this.
People back home just want to see it funded. Reconciliation, doesn't mean anything to them. We just need to do our job.
The funding battle will not affect ICE and Border Patrol paychecks because the agencies have already been funded as part of President Trump's big, beautiful bill. President Trump is keeping his military options open as the U.S. tries to force Iran into a deal, while Iran is issuing a new threat in response. The country's supreme leader vows to protect its nuclear and missile defense capabilities. In a statement to Iranian state TV, Iran's Mojtaba Khamenei says, in part, quote, that Iran will put an end to the hostile enemy's exploitation of the Strait of Hormuz, end quote. But the White House says its naval blockade on Iranian ports, they're calling it a success, and it's crumbling Iran's economy.
The regime won't be able to pay their soldiers. They won't be able to fund their proxies, whether it's Hezbollah, Hamas, around the world.
The strategy has always been to make this campaign so politically and economically intolerable for us that we would decide to call it quits.
Blockade. President Trump says new strikes are still on the table and has met with CENTCOM's commander about possible military action. The White House is also considering a partial takeover of the Strait of Hormuz and using special forces to secure Iran's stockpile of enriched uranium. Gas prices in our state have hit a new record high, according to AAA. Regular unleaded is now $5.57 a gallon on average. That's 2 cents higher than the previous record of $5.55 set back in June of 2022. Turning now to our weather with meteorologist Claire Anderson.
Looking outside today, a beautiful afternoon. Our Capitol Hill camera, we see temperatures in the mid to low 70s today. Beautiful blue skies, few clouds here and there. But looking at our conditions across the region, temperatures in the mid to low 70s between Seattle, Tacoma, 76 for Olympia as well as Chehalis, upper 60s out towards Bellingham and Everett, 68 degrees out towards the coast, 75 degrees in Wenatchee today, a good 10 degrees above seasonal average this afternoon. Compared to yesterday, even 5 to 10 degrees warmer. We will stay nice and warm here for the next several days with even warmer temperatures, especially Sunday into Monday. Live Doppler radar for today. A few high clouds have been passing through this afternoon. No rain, and no rain in the extended forecast either. We're really dry here heading into the next several days. Looking at our winds, not a whole lot, maybe a little bit of breeze out towards the coast, 10 to 15 miles per hour between Forks and Hoquiam, 10-mile-per-hour wind get out towards Wenatchee as well as Ellensburg. Looking at our futurecast for tonight, a weak front expected to move through late tonight into tomorrow, bringing a few more clouds. Looking at our Friday, mostly high clouds, no rain, again still dry, but a few more clouds, not maybe necessarily totally blue sky day all day. Through Friday though, nice, clear and dry into the overnight hours, a few more clouds to start our Saturday. We will see mostly sunny skies through the afternoon time, maybe a pop-up shower in those North Cascades, but looking really sunny and dry all the way through the weekend. Looking at our temperatures tonight, really mild thanks to the nice warm temperatures this afternoon, along with the cloud cover. Upper 40s for Bremerton, 50, Seattle and Everett, 52 overnight for Wenatchee, upper 40s out towards the coast. Temperatures tomorrow, low 70s, slightly cooler because of a few more clouds out there, mid 60s for Everett and Bellingham, 73 for Tacoma. Your extended forecast, beautiful conditions through the weekend, highs in the upper 70s for Sunday, Monday, around 80 degrees, nice and sunny into next week as well.
There's more news ahead with Fox 13's Hannah Kim and Lauren Donovan.
From Fox 13 News, this is Seattle News Tonight on Fox 13 and streaming on Fox Local.
A mystery in Marysville. Police discovered the body of a woman in a trash can Wednesday night. It happened along Grove Street near 74th Street Northeast.
And tonight, Fox 13's AJ Janavel spoke to the man who made the disturbing discovery.
This body was found off of a quiet road just outside of a small apartment complex here in Marysville, leaving a lot of questions for the community as well as police.
When I went to move that bin out of the way to put the other bins into place, it was pretty heavy. So when I opened it up to see what was in it, lo and behold, there's this body.
Bob Stocks tells me he noticed a waste bin that did not match other trash cans outside of his apartment. He says as soon as he saw the body inside the bin, he called police.
I mean, why? I mean, why would somebody be so cruel?
Very kind of sad that somebody would resort to just dumping a body in a garbage bin. I've been here for 40 years. I've been a PIO for over 20, and this is a first for our town, and so it is shocking.
Commander Rob Lamro with the Marysville Police Department tells me the victim is a woman who is believed to be in her 20s. Investigators say she only had on a shirt, socks, and a blanket covering her in the garbage bin. Lamro believes someone would have placed her there sometime between Tuesday night and Wednesday afternoon.
We are looking at it right now, addressing it as a homicide investigation.
Marysville police are looking for your help in this situation. They're asking anyone with information to contact them. Reporting in Marysville, AJ Janavel, Fox 13 News.
It was a murder that rocked Seattle's Central District. A beloved business owner shot and killed outside of his store in 2022. The man accused of pulling the trigger has been described as a former friend who had allegedly been harassing the family for years. He is now facing a competency trial in Judge Melinda Young's courtroom as his defense team argues he is not competent to stand trial. Zavon Pickett Jr. was the co-founder of The Postman, a mail service business. His family says he was committed to bringing shoppers to Seattle's historically black neighborhood. He was also a father, husband, youth coach, and a star athlete at Seattle University. On October 19th of 2022, Ashton LaFall is accused of shooting and killing Pickett outside of The Postman. That business closed down for good in 2025. In court this morning, the defense claimed when the shooting happened, LaFall was an undiagnosed schizophrenic. They also discussed some of the conversations they've shared with him.
God's robots. That's what Mr. LaFall thinks his attorneys are. He thinks that we're zombies. He thinks that once he completes this fake test that God has made for him, that he gets to heaven, he gets to another spiritual realm. These are the discussions that counsel has had with Mr. LaFall over a year and a half.
But the prosecution points to some of the phone calls they say he made to his mother after his arrest.
He's going to Western State Hospital to be evaluated for competency, he says. And they're going to evaluate me. And I'm going to tell them the same thing I told the other psychiatrists when they asked me what a judge and prosecutor is. I'm going to tell them they don't exist. You can have schizophrenia and still be competent. You can have mental illness and still lie.
Well, prosecutors say LaFall was linked to 3 shootings in total, including a shooting that killed another woman days before Pickett's murder. A competency trial is not common. Typically, a judge just issues a decision after weighing the evidence. But in this case, Judge Young wanted more information and called for a trial to determine whether LaFall should stand trial in the case of Pickett's death. A final decision is expected May 7th at the earliest, with the trial lasting days.
Child Protective Services took 3 children into custody after sheriff's deputies responded to an overdose call. According to the Snohomish County Sheriff's Office, it happened Tuesday. Deputies responded to a call at the Motel 6 on 128th Street in unincorporated Everett. There, medics treated a 26-year-old who overdosed and was unresponsive. And that is when deputies found the 3 kids who were left within a hotel room. No food, water, or clothing. The 26-year-old was taken to a local hospital. Deputies cared for the kids until CPS got there. After the recent measles cases in our state, there are newfound concerns about undetected community spread, according to the Washington Department of Health. DOH says 3 recent measles cases here in our state have no known source of exposure. DOH is urging people to watch for symptoms, stay home, and contact their healthcare provider if they're feeling sick. Health officials encourage vaccination to help protect you against it.
In Pierce County, the fire crew spent the morning putting out a large fire at B&R Auto Wrecking in Graham. Take a look right here. Flames were first reported around 11 o'clock last night. According to Pierce County Fire, multiple stacks of cars were burning. Luckily, nobody was hurt. The cause of that fire is still under investigation.
Back in court today in Washington, D.C., the California man charged with attempting to assassinate President Trump over the weekend. He had a detention hearing, and as Caroline Shively reports, he's facing 3 federal charges, but prosecutors say that's just the beginning.
No bail and no release for Cole Allen, the man charged with attempting to assassinate President Trump Saturday night.
This defendant was calculated, he was premeditated, he had every intention of killing the president and anyone who got in his way.
Prosecutors argued Allen should remain behind bars while he awaits trial, and Allen's lawyers didn't fight it. The federal charges stem from Allen's alleged actions outside the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Police say he stormed through metal detectors at Washington's Hilton Hotel, armed with a long gun, sprinting toward a ballroom filled with 2,500 guests and the nation's top officials.
I mean, he was like a running back. In fact, if he ever got out, they're probably going to sign him. He was a speedy guy, but he was stopped.
Prosecutors allege the 31-year-old teacher and engineer fired his shotgun near the ballroom, and an officer fired 5 shots before Allen fell to the ground unharmed. A Secret Service agent was hit in his bulletproof vest, but not seriously injured.
I know a lot of those people, the Secret Service, and they were good and they were forceful.
Investigators are now combing through Allen's social media and digital communications. Prosecutors expect several additional charges to come out of a grand jury, depending on what police uncover surrounding Allen's intent.
Whether we can prove he had the intent to kill additional people by name based upon what we determine from the investigation.
And Allen will be back in court soon. He's got a preliminary hearing scheduled for May 11th.
Well, it is Thursday, and the latest episode of the Seattle News Weekly podcast is now streaming. On this week's episode, I sat down with Alejandro Guzman to talk more in depth about a forensic audit revealing $13 million in unaccounted taxpayer funds within the King County Regional Homelessness Authority. We also weighed in on an investigative report uncovering internal emails from state workers frustrated by Governor Bob Ferguson's new approval mandate. Axios reporting this week that Ferguson is requiring most state agencies to clear their press releases and responses to reporters with his office. The complaint is that it's causing a delay of information to the public. You can stream it now on the Fox Local app or wherever you get your podcasts. We'll be right back.
Password.
now.
King Charles and Queen Camilla wrapping up their 4-day state visit to the United States. Reporter Caroline Elliott has the latest on the final leg of the royal tour.
President Trump saying goodbye to the British royals in Washington, D.C. with the highest praise for King Charles.
We need more people like that in our country.
After bidding farewell to the Trumps, the royal couple made the short drive to Arlington Cemetery to honor the fallen at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. The king and queen then headed to a block party in Virginia to celebrate 250 years of U.S. independence.
It's a festival atmosphere. I think it's something that the people here are never going to forget. The children are going to remember for the rest of their lives.
The trip deemed a success by both UK and U.S. officials. King Charles seemed to charm not only the president, but also the British back home.
President Trump has a mixed reputation, I think it's fair to say, in the United Kingdom. But the thing that I think that the king has landed so well on this visit, that special relationship is deeper and stronger.
But there are still questions about the relationship between President Trump and Britain's Prime Minister.
Sadly, Keir Starmer, as we've seen time and time again, has decided to ignore advice from people better placed.
King Charles and Queen Camilla are spending a few days in Bermuda before heading back to the UK. And we'll be right back.
I'm Brian McMillan.
Students at Seattle Public Schools will soon have a new cell phone policy starting on May 4th. Students between kindergarten and 8th grade won't be allowed to have their phones for the whole school day. For grades 9th and up, phones will be allowed during passing periods and lunch, but not during class time. There are some exceptions for students who require devices for medical needs or learning programs. And Seattle Public Schools is also adopting a new reading curriculum for kindergarten through 5th grade. Teachers will start using the Science of Reading method, which uses decades of brain research on how to most effectively teach kids to read. The new curriculum will include books from authors Shel Silverstein, Langston Hughes, and Pat Mora. The changes go into place in September as the new school year begins.
In Kingston, drivers will now need a boarding pass for the state ferry. This change is part of a new system aimed at cracking down on line cutters. And moving forward, any driver wanting to hold their place in line, they need to grab a boarding pass from this dispenser right here. Now, signs will be posted when the system is active, and the hope is to improve traffic flow during the busy summer season. Testing starts weekends in May, with full use set to begin June 1st. A big transformation is happening along the lower Duwamish River, and it's nearly complete. Meteorologist Abby Oconee explains how these changes could help save young salmon.
In Seattle, a site near Harbor Island is being transformed from an industrial area into sections of a natural refuge for migrating salmon. Crews associated with the company Nucor have been making some moves to replace sections of industrial shoreline with a mix of marsh and what's called intertidal habitat. The project, estimated to cost more than $10 million. It is being fully funded by Nucor. The result is nearly 3 acres of new space designed specifically for juvenile salmon to rest and find food on its journey.
I like to say that the schools of migrating fish coming out of the river, this is their cafeteria where they can stop and get a meal.
The white structures that you see here on your screen, those are meant to deter geese from eating the plants in the habitat. Now, this particular project came about from a legal settlement reached 2 years ago between the U.S. government and Nucor, along with 2 of its subsidiaries. Nucor agreed to clean up and restore the area. An environmental engineer with the project says this habitat is critical for fish survival.
This will be almost like a pit stop for salmon as they're migrating to the sound. Juvenile salmon need to have areas of low energy where they can rest, they can forage for food, and they can also hide from predators.
According to the government, hazardous substances have been released in these waters by many agencies since the early 1900s. And just last month, another settlement came down that pertains to the lower Duwamish in Seattle. This latest settlement requires more than 100 entities to collectively pay more than $100 million to clean up toxic substances there. This work could take at least a decade. You can find more of our details on our website. Back to you.
Well, it is a day of action to honor the sacrifice of our nation's military, veterans, and first responders. Carry the Load is a nationwide month-long remembrance known as Memorial May. Events are scheduled across the country and here in Puget Sound. Participants hold pictures, flags, signs, and other mementos to remember those who gave their lives helping others.
You know, everybody has a story, and so these people. There's going to be somebody here that knows a fallen veteran, knows a fireman, police, anything like that. Whether it be a family friend or directly related to them. So getting to meet these people and hear their stories, who are they carrying, and really getting meet the people and while we're walking.
Since its founding in 2011, Carry the Load has raised more than $50 million that goes directly to programs and support services for military and first responder communities. A new congressional map from Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has cleared the state legislature there. As Dana Marie McNichol reports, it's part of a nationwide fight between both parties to tilt the scales in their favor.
So the motion adopted.
With just 6 months until the midterms, Florida lawmakers approved a new congressional map that could potentially add 4 Republican House seats. GOP leaders see it as a way to boost the party's chances in November, but Governor Ron DeSantis frames it as a response to population shifts.
We have almost a 1.5 million person voter advantage in terms of Republicans. This is an accurate depiction of what goes on the ground in Florida.
But the decision faces an uphill legal battle. Similar efforts have been stalled in Virginia after the state's highest court upheld a ruling blocking certification.
Regardless of what they do in Florida, we'll continue to push back. So don't let any MAGA extremists fool you about what may ultimately result from this decision.
Florida is one of several states redrawing its maps this election cycle, and a Supreme Court decision could encourage others to do the same. On Wednesday, the High Court struck down an electoral map in Louisiana that could have created a second black majority district. Democrats warn the ruling could prevent challenges to racial discrimination in voting.
That is a return to Jim Crow,
taking decades of hard work, sweat, blood, and tears, and even people dying for the right to vote.
We should be colorblind. We should not discriminate in favor of or against any race.
House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries has warned that Democrats will target 8 of Florida's Republican incumbents if the state redraws its map. In Tallahassee, Dana Marie McNichol, Fox News.
$2 billion. That's how much the Federal Trade Commission says Americans lost to social media scams last year. The agency reports most of those scams started on Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram. More than half of the money lost was from these investment scams, which involves ads, posts, or scammers posing as advertisers, offering to teach people how to invest.
If you're a fan of hot cocoa, mocha, or other frap mixes, you might want to check your labels. Ghirardelli is pulling more than a dozen powdered beverage mixes from shelves due to a potential health risk. The recall impacts 13 different products due to potential salmonella contamination. The company says to stop using the product immediately and contact them for a full refund. There's another recall to let you know about. Take a look. This Smart Belt dumbbell set is sold at Walmart. The recall was issued after 115 reports of weight plates dislodging, hurting 6 people. It impacts 50,000 units sold between January and November of 2024. So if you have those dumbbells, stop using them and contact Zumi Electronics for a free replacement.
The talk of the town, potential bidders to purchase the Seattle Seahawks. New reporting from Front Office Sports indicates that Mark Zuckerberg and Tim Cook are quietly making moves to make a run at purchasing the team. But new reports have cast doubts, leaving questions about who will ultimately be bidders. Fox 13 has reached out to the Hawks, but we're waiting to hear back. For the Seahawks, the main story remains their latest first-round pick, Jadarian Price. Fox 13 sports reporter Ethan McReynolds was there as the team introduced Price to the fans.
The Seahawks have had glaring needs each of the last few years, entering the NFL draft, with John Snyder addressing them all in the first round. Well, that trend continued this year with the Hawks using the final pick of the first round to take running back Jadarian Price, the man they hope to be the successor to Super Bowl MVP Kenneth Walker III. Price comes to Seattle after backing up number 3 overall pick Jeremiah Love at Notre Dame. In a supplementary role, Price stood out, averaging 6 yards per carry over his college career and scoring 27 total touchdowns, 3 of which coming as a kick returner. The 22-year-old is just the 3rd running back the Seahawks have taken in the first round in the 21st century, joining Rashad Penny in 2018 and former MVP Sean Alexander in 2000.
Yeah, I'm just blessed to be here in Seattle and part of a winning program, winning culture, and, just coming into a locker room and being able to compete. And, coming from a culture like Notre Dame and you being taught so many things, and the habits I created, they'll translate to this NFL level, so that'll help. But, I'm just blessed to be in this position that I am.
Finally, Jadarian Price will wear number 8 as a Seahawk, vacated by Kobe Bryant, now in Chicago with the Bears. Price wore number 24 in college, but said he wanted to try something new as he starts this new chapter in his life. From Renton, Ethan McReynolds, Fox 13 Sports.
2 years ago, Jessica Campbell made NHL history by becoming the first female to hold a full-time on-the-bench role with the Seattle Kraken. But today, it looks like she may not continue with the Kraken. Fox 13 sports anchor Alyssa Charleston-Smith is here with those details. Alyssa.
Yeah, Hannah, this morning the team announced that, quote, as Campbell's contract expires, she has expressed her desire to explore other coaching roles across the league, and we support her in that process. Campbell had an instrumental role in player development, in particular with young players like Maddie Beniers and Shane Wright. Now, before the Kraken promoted her in 2024, Campbell was an assistant with the franchise affiliate Coachella Valley Firebirds in the AHL for 2 seasons. According to an ESPN report, the Kraken have left the door open to Campbell returning to Seattle in some capacity. She had a good experience with the team. Last night, the Seattle Storm beat the Portland Fire by 10 in their second and final preseason game. Today, the team waived former Washington Husky El Ladine along with 2 other players. All were signed on a training camp contract. Each WNBA team has to cut their rosters down to 12 players for the regular season, and new this year, they will keep 2 developmental players they can add to the active roster when needed. The Seattle Storm open up the regular season next Friday at home. Well, the 40th Windermere Cup is this Saturday on the Montlake Cut. This year's iteration of the race features the University of Washington rowing teams, the Great Britain national men's and women's teams, the women's Canadian national team, and Northeastern University's men's team. Now, the last time that the British men participated in the Windermere Cup, back in 2014, they won it. So this should be a pretty good test for the Husky men's varsity 8.
Tradition in this region, it's a true Pacific Northwest festivity of boating, and I mean, we're just drawn by the water, right? We're all connected to the water here. It's a maritime community, and there's no better way to celebrate that than the opening day festivities in the Windermere Cup. I do believe this is the strongest competition the men have had in my career as a coach and maybe even as an oarsman here.
And a good time for that because last year the UW men won the IRA Men's Varsity 8 National Championship. The Husky women won the Big Ten Rowing Championships in Indianapolis. Windermere Cup action starts at 10:15 a.m. on Saturday with the Men's Masters. Back to you.
All right, Alyssa, thank you. Office space was a hot commodity pre-pandemic, but as Grady Trimble shows us, now much of it is just selling for pennies on the dollar.
Building owners are finally cutting their losses and selling after office occupancy plummeted during the pandemic. In some cities, occupancy is rebounding, but the building values essentially crashed after COVID. Take a look at these two buildings in Chicago, for example. One just sold for $41 million. The previous seller paid $306 million in 2018 for the very same building. The other went for $62.5 million recently, a third of its 2018 value.
The cheaper you pay for the bricks, the more you can afford to spend on other parts of the building to make it nicer, more appealing. The more free rent periods you can offer tenants on long-term leases to attract them, the more generous you can be in listing commissions to brokers.
In Denver, a developer purchased the Denver Energy Center building for just over $5 million after a foreclosure. That property previously sold for $176 million.
It's not like companies don't want office space. It's just that the value proposition of office space had gotten so out of whack from what companies really need. And I think really affordable office space, just like really affordable apartment rents, will be attractive.
Remember, you can get streaming news from Fox 13 Seattle with the Fox Local app. It's free to download for any smart TV or any mobile phone. Whether you watch on a big screen or in the palm of your hand, the Fox Local app brings you streaming news, breaking news, and local updates anytime from Fox 13 Seattle. We'll be right back.
Think about all the stuff AJ.
Thursday, everyone. I'm meteorologist Claire Anderson in the Fox 13 Weather Center. What a beautiful day it has been. We've been seeing really nice temperatures this afternoon. Tonight, we'll see some overnight clouds with really mild temperatures thanks to the cloud cover and those warm conditions this afternoon. A few high clouds heading into our Friday and highs still in the 70s, just a few degrees cooler for our Friday. But then we warm up, especially Sunday into Monday with those temperatures in the upper 70s, even some spots in the low to mid 80s. So we'll be warm here in the next several days. Now, temperatures today, low to mid 60s between Seattle, Tacoma, as well as Olympia. Upper 70s out towards Chehalis, upper 60s towards Forks and Hoquiam, close to 70 for Bellingham, 75 degrees for Wenatchee today, good 10 degrees above seasonal average. 24-hour temperature change, almost 10 degrees warmer compared to yesterday, and yesterday was so nice as well. 9 degrees warmer for Seattle, 7 degrees warmer for Olympia and Shelton. Now, looking at your next several afternoons, maybe a degree or two cooler tomorrow as we see some more cloud cover. Both Friday and Saturday will be in the low 70s, but we warm up Sunday into Monday with those temperatures getting close to that 80-degree mark around the Seattle area. Warmest day right now looks like Monday. We do see temperatures staying nice and mild into next week as well in the mid to low 70s. Now, let's talk about why we're going to be seeing this. Well, our weather pattern today, nice high pressure over us, keeping us nice and warm. Heading into Friday, we've got a weak front moving in through late tonight into tomorrow morning, bringing in a few more clouds. You see that little dip in the jet stream there. Not a whole lot of change, but just enough to cool us down a degree or two. High pressure starts to build on Saturday with more sunshine really starts to build over us, that ridge. Sunday into Monday with those highs in the 70s to 80s. Notice that high pressure continues to build for Monday. Now, looking at the Doppler radar, even though it might be a little cooler into tomorrow, not looking at any rainfall. Today, we've seen a few of those high clouds passing through with that front moving through late tonight. Here's a look at the futurecast showing. Again, maybe a cloud or two into tomorrow morning out towards the coast. Overall dry, though. Western Washington has no major rain chances through next week. We do see, again, those high clouds throughout the afternoon time. Into Friday night, early Saturday, some morning clouds to start the day. Maybe a little bit of sprinkle or drizzle up into the Cascades, but we do see more sunshine into Saturday afternoon, potentially a shower, pop-up shower into the North Cascades for Saturday evening, but then dry Saturday. Plenty of sunshine into Sunday as well. Now, temperatures tonight will be mild because we were so nice today with a little bit of cloud cover. Upper 40s for Bremerton, Tacoma, 50, Seattle and Everett. Beautiful conditions tomorrow for your outdoor report. Yard work, mostly sunny, nice warmer afternoon. Lunchtime, if you want to go out to lunch, maybe walk. It's going to be a great one for that. Tomorrow, highs will be in the low 70s, a little bit cooler, especially down towards Olympia, Centralia, but still beautiful conditions. Upper 60s for Bellingham, close to 80 for Wenatchee with mostly sunny skies, 60s out along the coast. And looking at your extended forecast, so beautiful conditions for this home stretch, the Mariners home through all of this beautiful weather. Temperatures in the upper 70s for Sunday, Monday close to 80, sunshine into next week.
Tonight is National Therapy Animal Day, and so today we got to meet a special pup that supports Western Washington first responders.
So take a look. This is Bella. She's a 7-year-old golden doodle, and she assists first responders from American Medical who tend to be under intense pressure, so responding to traumatic incidents.
Anytime that they go on a bad call, she's there for comfort. I mean, even when they don't deal with tragedies, you know, people show up to work and they are just so happy to see Bella. How are you?
Bella is being celebrated for providing the comfort and connection. It helps first responders manage the mental and emotional demands of their work. Bella's support also reaches the community as well. AMR says she often visits the local hospitals, attends community events, and even schools and daycares to help her youngest residents feel comfortable around lights and sirens. Okay, it's National Adopt a Shelter Pet Day. Some animal shelters in our area are waiving adoption fees in honor. They include Regional Animal Services of King County and the Humane Society for Tacoma and Pierce County. A reminder, vets say newly adopted pets may need space and time to warm up to their new surroundings. Make sure to be aware of the pet's boundaries before introducing your child to a new furry friend.
All right, check this out. Some very special visitors walked right into a Ballard store. Yeah, you're looking at this right. Look at all those little ducklings. Spur Candle Company, they posted this video on Instagram showing a family of ducks waddling right through their store. They didn't buy anything, unfortunately. They were not patronizing the store, Hannah, but the crew wandered around for a bit before managing to find the exit sign and letting them, you know, go out. I wonder where they were headed after that.
Yeah, I wonder where they were going.
They're so cute. Look how many of them there are.
Yeah, oh, that's adorable. Following the mommy. Olivia Rodrigo is coming to Seattle for 2 nights. The singer-songwriter announcing the Unraveled tour this morning. The 65-date tour supports her 3rd studio album, You Seem Pretty for a Girl So in Love, which will debut June 12th. Olivia Rodrigo will be performing 2 shows at Climate Pledge Arena on December 7th and 8th. General tickets go on sale May the 7th.
Lots of lore about this one, Hannah.
Yeah.
You know, the breakup that happened, she almost didn't release it. I got to see the drama unfold.
Yeah, Lauren's all about it. I know you were kind of dancing to it.
Yeah,
so.
just a little bit.
All right, so here's a chance to catch some new movies, you guys. Today's the start of Seattle's Black Film Festival.
That's right, and the festival runs through Sunday, May 3rd. This year, the theme is The Sound of Us, honoring and highlighting soundscapes on screen and beyond. It's a virtual festival, and tickets are available on the langstonseattle.org site. This year, select screenings on events this Sunday will be completely free. Okay, staying on the movies. This summer, Movies at the Mural returns to Seattle Center's Mural Amphitheater each week from July 24th through August 21st. A film will be shown on the 40-foot screen. This year's movies are Wonka, The Princess Bride, Hamilton, Coco, and Masters of the Universe. Food and drinks will be available in the Armory Food and Event Hall, as well as food carts that are just out on the Seattle Center grounds. The events are free, and movies will start at dusk around 9 p.m. Okay, Hannah, what movie are you going to watch there? I think you felt a little underwhelmed with the selections.
I haven't seen any of them, so I need to.
We need to get you on. We need to get on Princess Bride bandwagon real quick.
Yeah, that one. Actually.
Comforting. It's a great one.
All right, a mega mansion in California is up for sale, and its price tag is even bigger for a whopping $400 million. You can buy this Bel Air home. According to the Wall Street Journal, we're talking about 70,000 square feet of living space. The sprawling home has 39 bedrooms, 3 swimming pools, and it even has its own X-ray machine. And they were saying that if it does sell for $400 million, that it will be the most expensive.
Jeff Koons piece there, right there. Wow, look at that. She, fancy spot, Hannah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look at that. It's gorgeous. I mean, it is gorgeous. But the question is, I guess, will it actually sell for $400 million?
Let's get a little cheaper now here for you, Hannah. Wendy's fans, this one's for you. The chain is bringing back their sweet sour sauce. It's been a long time coming, with customers practically begging for its return on social media. Wendy's posting on Instagram, the sauce is back, quote, only for a limited time unless y'all get loud. All right. I know Hannah's a foodie.
Yes.
Have you indulged in sweet and sour situation at Wendy's?
So. I haven't had it in a while. But you know what I do enjoy about the Wendy's? They have a very sassy social media team. I will go on there.
I do appreciate
I will go there and read it a little bit.
Well, thanks for joining us for Seattle News Tonight.
And remember, you can watch Fox 13 News anytime on the Fox Local Connected TV app, which is free to download for connected TVs and mobile devices. Have a good night, everyone.
Pass.
We're staying on top of breaking news. School is canceled tomorrow after a stabbing at Foss High School. Officials tell us 6 people, most of them students, were hurt. Police say the suspect, who is also a student, is in custody.